That's right. Diet and exercise can help a lot, but you got to understand that, if you're in consistent toxic poisoning, it's only going to prolongate. It's only going to prolong and elongate your torture. And that's just the truth. If you have to live by the freeway and you can't move away from the freeway, you stay there. Uh, there are no magical solutions to problems that don't need to be problems. They just need to stop being problems. You forgive debt and trespass. You share caregiving in accordance need built to last. That's a solution, and there's no magic to it. It's just truthful, faithful, loving reality. Right? There's not a magic wand. There's not take for instance. I was just thinking about today, the Book of Job. The Book of Job is, you got to remember, it's Jerome and Constantine that wrote this down. And how many stories in mythology do you have where, like with Hercules, where Zeus and the others are watching them from the clouds, right? And that's the way they present the story of the Book of Job. Okay. And that's obviously a Roman translation, and it has to be because there's so many of the books in the Bible, okay, that have this, Aphrodite was watching and helped Paris and so forth, right? And so many of the books have that, and other books do not. Okay, Ruth does not have Aphrodite watching from the clouds, does not have magic Jesus watching from the clouds and giving her a staff, and Ruth has to do it all on her faith. Okay, same with Esther. Same with David and Sam and Solomon. Right? There's no magic intervention. Okay, in any of these stories, there is the story with the part with Absalom, who says a prayer, make my enemies vulnerable before me. And he goes to slay Joab because he sees in battle, and he can do it. His hair gets caught in the tree, and it holds him back from doing it. He tells Joab, take me to my father. I want to, and Joab seizes that opportunity to kill the vulnerable Absalom instead of be honorable. Okay? And we know this in the story because when Solomon becomes king and all the manipulation tries to get, and it's unsuccessful. When Nathan goes to Joab to say, it's okay, it's time to stop doing what you're being part of, and Joab kills himself before Nathan even gets there. Okay. And the other brothers that were being manipulated by their bitchy, gossipy mothers and stuff. So that's all very real stories, that you guys would love to sit and watch on TV and go, ooh, and I would sit there, God, this is horrible that this is fucking happening. Okay, and it was horrible. I remember when I read stories about David, I was like, oh, this is terrible. All this political infighting and this, my son will be king. My son, it's like it's worse than Macbeth. It's horrible because he's forced to have peace, to have all these political marriages, and then they use these political marriages to my son will be king, and then they kill the other people's and fight like hell to make their son king, and it's gross. Okay, and we're still dealing with that kind of dynamic today. Right? Voting for president, voting for prime minister. We have Putin. We have Xi. We have Leo. We have Trump. We have, I mean, what do you mean Leo? Leo is in charge of is the figurehead of being in charge of one of the biggest banks in the entire world. Okay. What do you mean we don't have Leo? Okay. Leo has more money and more influence than the Khomeini and the little idiot in North Korea. Okay, what do you not understand about manipulation with money and power? I bid you to burn. What do you not understand about that piece of shit from Chicago? And the other piece of shit that put on a show like he was something like me, that just recently died and has a rock statue of him holding a dove erected by drug dealers that have people pay money to rape little girls to death. What are you not getting about this? What the fuck is wrong with you? Are you Dwayne from Tackroom Bible Talk? Are you those people from God wants you to have peace? God wants you to have. God wants you to this, okay? Really? Don't you think if God wanted us to have peace that everybody would have obeyed Jesus Christ when he was here in his time? Okay. Don't you think if God wanted us to have peace that they would have submitted to Islam during Muhammad's time? Well, then don't say God wants you to have anything, okay? Except for your life and the ability to worship God properly without being an egomaniac assigning God to your will. Pervert. Okay. You think you're a fucking rocket scientist from Las Cruces? Okay. Or Fort Huachuca? We can program people like we're programming a video game. We can't get them to do anything they don't want to do. What makes you think they want to do it? Okay. How many people have health issues in the United States, have to get electroshock therapy, have to be medicated because we're not living the Lord's Prayer? Okay. And then you get assholes that are scientists, the top fucking scientists, I might add, in the world, neuroscientists like Huberman and Bellick and all that. Okay. And the people at Fort Huachuca that have the best Wi-Fi in the world for manipulating people say we can't get them to do anything they don't want to do. Okay. Do you think if they were living the applied physics of the Lord's Prayer and faithfully caring and loving, sharing, caring, giving according to need, building to last, that they would need electroshock therapy to survive El Paso? Or antipsychotic meds, anti-schizophrenic meds? Huh, assholes? And then I get assholes who, he's a schizophrenic. Yes. No, I communicate through relative terms through people that know I exist and that I know they exist. Okay. And past, present, future operate at the same time. Okay. What do you not get about Albert Einstein? Okay. Am I explaining it too simply that I don't have a podcast from a bunch of genocidal operators that sit there and say, keep looking at the stars. We'll save the world through the stars, right? Oh, Dancing with the Stars. See what I'm saying? You better see what I'm saying, because I am way more intelligent than any asshole who speaks outside of your realm of understanding, out of your vernacular, and then tries to make himself feel brilliant and make himself appear brilliant to people that are stupid and don't realize they're just being abused by a condescending prick. Okay? Do you understand? The people that give out the Richard Dawkins Awards and the Nobel Prizes give out money for those prizes. There's an incentive to win that prize, and it's a lot of money. Money is a human invention by evil people to manipulate stupid people. Okay? You don't think the evil people that win that money and win those awards with their science experience don't understand that? You think they're that fucking stupid? You think they're Pope fucking Leo? No, I know Pope Leo understands exactly what he's doing. He just doesn't have the balls to get up and say he doesn't want to do it because he's addicted to it, just like all of you. Want to sell me some Dunkin' drinks? Want to sell me some donuts, some Munchkin skis? Sell me something. Human invention. Okay? And don't listen to that asshole who thinks he owns the LA Clippers because they can't get him to do anything they don't want to do when he tells you videos, here's what's happening with money, here's what's happening with this. Okay, here's what's happening. A bunch of evil assholes invented money, and all the stupid idiots that want to be evil assholes accept money, and they're all addicted to it. Wow, we could just end carbon emission poisoning all across El Paso and thus stop psychiatric meds within a couple of months, and definitely electroshock therapy. Someone's flying over the cuckoo nest, right, McMurphy? Hey, look, Chief, juicy fruit, right? Okay, hey. Okay. I'm right to be critical of Dwayne from Tech Room Bible Talk. I addressed the man, and he didn't even acknowledge me, like I was a nut job. Okay, you're debating comic books over money. I'm saving children from getting raped to death in Mexico from debating comic books over money, Dwayne. I'm just doing what a big brother or a father should do to a little asshole who's being an asshole, right? I don't have big hands like you and Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm Dinkelman. I'm not biggest dickus. You know what they say about big hands and big feet? Yeah. That they think with their dick. It happens. Okay. It happens. When you become part of that cultural, it's hard. My son Patrick said he hated it. He had a little Mexican girl that he fell in love with in high school, and they couldn't have sex because she couldn't handle his genitalia, and they broke up. And I told you this story, and then the little Mexican guy that started dating her tried to mean mug him, like, so really, the kid's 6'5" and can can outrun Usain Bolt, and that's my boy. But yeah, when his friend Andrew Taysom, Patrick was 6'5", but probably about 165, 170 pounds, skinny like his dad, right? When he met Andrew Taysom, his best friend on the cross country team, there were two football players shoving him into a locker. Patrick was on the john. He got up off the john real fast, came out and kicked the shit out of the two football players. Said, "Put the first one, I put my foot right between right in his sternum and kicked him across the locker room. And then the other one, and pulled. That's how me and Andrew became friends." I'm like, yeah, I believe it, And they thought Patrick was a bad kid because he was raised by his mother after high school. One Mormon kid kept saying things about Patrick's mom, who dressed like LL Cool J, and her girlfriend, who also dressed like LL Cool J. Right? And Patrick told him to stop, and he did it front, and they heard him, and he said not to, and so Patrick dislocated his thumb trying to make the young boy eat gravel like he told him he would do. So Patrick had his things. Yeah. Patrick was way better than Noah's character on The Boy Next Door. He was put through hell. He was manipulated by scientists that manipulate people emotionally, sexually, mentally. And he didn't have me to help him through it because he was abused by the military and their mind fucking. And the courts. Kaylan Gilliard. You shouldn't have to share your dad with this woman and her little baby. You've had him all to yourself for 9 years. What he's doing to you is wrong. And he agreed because that's what he was thinking. Because he was 9 and he had me all to himself for 9 years, and now he wasn't going to. Okay. And so the most selfish voice in his head was screaming, and Kaylan Gilliard said, "Come on, Steffi, you're going to get custody of Patrick. He's old enough to take care of himself. And now you can make Earl's life and old Miss Brown University over there's life miserable." And that's what Kay did. I was like, wow, that is a special lady and a very exciting girl. Because she could. Well, because she was a military spouse who understood the chain of command and how to, And she had friends in the thing. When we went to pay, and I don't think Steffi's ever figured it out to this day. When those racist people, there was a black lady and a white guy that stopped us from getting my BAQ till and screwed us up financially and fucked us the whole time we were there. It was a white guy and a black woman. That screwed us over. Okay, so it wasn't racism. It was an inside job. Got to have connections. I wondered about it too because I went to with me and Steffi went to the black lady and tried to explain this guy's being racist. Right? No, she did the same thing to us. It wasn't a chain of command thing. It was an inside job. Okay, you got to understand how the military works. They take care of their own. Geico, USAA members for life. Right? Okay. Well, the cool thing about it is life is eternal and grace is infinite. And I'm like Job and you're not. Have you taken into account my servant Job? Right? So Um, uh, we got this. There are a couple of things I can share with you guys that might help through this suffering while we're still being abused by perverts. As far as text, when you get depressed, getting toxins out of the body, the soaking and the salts does help. Okay, I went for like, because it was cold and I was just tired, and I went for like 2 weeks without soaking, and I soaked last night, and the uh, the effects it had on my genitalia and my shins is radically, yeah, it helped a lot. Okay, so I do need to do it more consistently, especially in the summertime and wintertime with all this pollution socked down on us from the economics, the genocidal economics and cruises at Young Park and in El Paso, just about anywhere, right? Shit. No, there's lies, damn lies, and there's statistics. And if you go watch things from the real estate industry about Fayetteville, they'll tell you what a nice, wonderful, beautiful, amazing place, and the cost of living is wonderful. Why is the cost of living wonderful? Well, because it's where the military herds all the niggas for genocide operations, and they train the niggas to kill themselves. Because if they try to kill the white people, they will be incarcerated or die by military ops. Okay. So they have to kill each other. And then they get the right niggas that they can keep in control, and they put them into military ops. Okay. Welcome to Cumberland County, North Carolina. Yeah, I lived there, and I understood it. I just didn't quite. I did. I was going to write a book and a screenplay about it, but I didn't. Well, why should I make money off of entertainment from our dysfunction, from not living the ways of Job? Right? I know what I'm doing, even when I don't know what I'm doing, because life's eternal, grace is infinite, and my life is the story of the book of Revelation. But the real story comes from my mouth and my face, not from Jerome's venom pen and Constantine's delusions of grandeur to be the next pope, president, or prime minister, or emperor of the world. Assholes. So I don't feel inferior or unattractive or anything like that. Have you considered my servant Job? You know, I feel like the most beautiful, gorgeous, strong, courageous, kind, intelligent man in the world. And I should, you know. I just go, Job. Yeah, okay. I love you too. Okay. John in a cave in North Africa, having to write down Revelation because he was being hunted down by the people that gave us the Vatican and the smoke, black or white. The, the ink is black, the page is white. Together we learn to read and write. When you put the words in red, right, said Fred, you better read those words in red because the words in black don't line up with the words in red. He says that, but yeah. I told people to do that hundreds of times. Just go take the book, the New Testament, and just read all the words in red. Then apply them in physics. Okay, he doesn't ask us to do anything we can't do, right? And the words in black say he's doing things that we can't do, but he can do, right? But he's asking us to do things that we can do, right? Why is he asking different of himself? I'm like Job. You're not. The understanding of the book is that Constantine and Jerome and the people that translate the books, like neuroscientists and physicists, don't understand eternally properly because they're not humble enough to recognize the linguistics of applications of physics of eternity through humility of faith and infinite glory. So, first person possessor pronoun. Oh, Genesis. Thank you. God's omniscient, omnipotent. Okay. That understanding, okay, started becoming more accepted and understood more than 5,000 years ago, okay, through faithful communications. Okay, started becoming more pervasive through faithful communications. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? Started becoming pervasive through faithful communications, meaning there are very little faithful communications. About 5,000 years ago, more people started being able to understand through humility the concept of omnipotent God replacing Zeus and Hades watching Hercules from the clouds. Oh, I'm a rocket scientist and you're a liar. Get it? You get it yet? Who my secret, right? Still want to go to the moon and put a landing pad on it? That's a stupid idea. Yeah, it is. So was the nuclear weapon, the SR-71, the U-2, and the Patriot Act. Oh, that was a very stupid idea. Yeah, and Rockefeller knew it. And Rockefeller knew. Okay. That was when was the Patriot Act put into, yeah, it was. It was in 2001, right after I married Amy, and the MEPs stole all my money from my profit sharing that would have made our lives radically different every time. Okay? Military's done this to me every time. Okay? But it's only recently that I've been able to address them publicly, tell them, I know what you're doing, yeah, I know ways you say you love me, and then say, don't do it. I'm the standard of male behavior. I'm the one who stops little girls from getting raped to death in Mexico, not Mel Gibson's imagination. Hey, Jaguar Power, I got your Flint Sky right here. He's a pervert rocket scientist at Motel Boulevard in Las Cruces, New Mexico, with his old lady still trying to lie to his old lady. And it's like, why'd you go around secretly if you were tired of loving me? Why'd you keep holding on when love was already gone? And you're like, why? Why don't you just tell him? You know, she's an old lady. She might understand. Yeah, you might I woke up this morning, and while I was having my coffee, my woman came in and sat down by my side. With tears in her eyes, she said, I've a confession to make. I said, woman, speak what's on your mind. She said, I found somebody. She might be masturbating to Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion rubbing coochies while you're masturbating to my daughter, my little girl, and countless other people's little girls that are Skyping with boys with a hot British accent that are 13 on Facebook, on Messenger right now. You really think little old pussy-faced brisket smoker Mark Zuckerberg can tell the assholes that are torturing me what to do? Seriously? You think Mark Zuckerberg is John Wick? And everybody at Fort Huachuca and White Sands is terrified of Mark Zuckerberg? And why they're at it, they're terrified of Pope Leo II and their money. They know money's not real. They know the people that manipulate the technology and use the linguistics and get everybody to accept the linguistics, in large groups of people. And Rock Johnson stands in my shadow. Shaq Vaughn stands in my shadow. And I'm not even 6 feet tall. Kevin Hart's terrified of me. So is, what's that kid's name? The kid from American Idol. What's his name again? Ryan Seacrest. I don't know why he's so scared of me. I don't hate Ryan. He's very rich and, yeah, I know, and part of manipulative thing, but he's scared of his own shadow. I don't hate him. I'm just like, oh, come on, Boo. Stand up for the Lord's Prayer. Come on, Boo. Stand up for the Lord's Prayer. That's what I'm going to call you. Hey, Boo, stand up for the Lord's Prayer. Why you had to tell Lionel Richie, come on. Let's go to Wonderful-Land. Let's get sanctified. Your Commodore shit was way better than your black Kenny Rogers shit. Come on now. I love you, all right? Peace, man.